Your mind grows stronger every time you learn something new. If you stop learning, you stop moving forward in life. Education is not limited to schools. It is a habit that shapes your future when you practice it every single day. The person who learns daily becomes more confident, more skilled, and more prepared for every challenge in life. Today we will talk about how to educate yourself daily. You will discover simple ways to make learning a part of your routine without feeling stressed. These steps will help you build knowledge that improves your career, mindset, and confidence. Daily education is the secret to staying ahead and creating endless opportunities. If you are ready to grow smarter and stronger every single day, then let's dive in. Number 1. Read at least 10 pages of a book daily. Most people feel stuck, not because they aren't talented, not because they aren't capable, but because they've stopped feeding their mind. They've traded hours scrolling through their phones for minutes of real growth. They wake up tired, go to jobs they don't like, come home drained, and then spend what little energy they have left on things that don't give anything back. And it's not because they're lazy, it's because nobody told them that building a better life starts with feeding the mind every single day. And not with noise, not with opinions, but with solid, useful, life-changing information. The kind that's been bound and printed and handed down from people who have lived, learned, failed, and succeeded. The kind that waits quietly between the covers of a good book. 10 pages. That's all it takes. 10 pages a day. But most never do it. They say they'll start tomorrow, and tomorrow turns into never. Every day you don't pick up a book is a day your mind doesn't grow. And the truth is, your life will never grow past your thinking. If you're not sharpening your thoughts, your decisions will suffer. Your confidence will take a hit. You'll start doubting yourself more. You'll settle more. You'll shrink in moments where you should stand tall. But the opposite is just as true. You feed your mind, you fuel your life. You get up in the morning, grab that book, not your phone, and you start with 10 pages. And you don't just read the words. You absorb the ideas. You think about them. You take a highlighter, a pen, a pencil, underline the lines that hit you. Mark the thoughts that wake something up inside you. Because that's what growth feels like. It feels like coming alive again. And no, it's not always convenient. There will be days you don't feel like reading. But do it anyway. Discipline is born in the days you don't feel like doing it. 10 pages might take you 15 minutes. Maybe 20. That's less time than one episode of a show you won't even remember in a week. But those 10 pages, they might stay with you for life. They might plant the seed for an idea, for a change, for a new way to look at things. And over time that becomes momentum. That becomes energy. That becomes a mind that's clearer, sharper, more focused. You start making better decisions, not by chance, but because your mind is better equipped to see what matters and what doesn't. When you make a habit of reading daily, you begin to separate yourself from the average. And I'm not saying this to sound special, I'm saying it because it's true. Most people don't read. They say they don't have time. But it's not about time, it's about priority. If something matters to you, you'll make time. And what should matter more than your own growth? When you read a book, you're entering the mind of someone who's lived more life than you've lived, who's gone through struggles you haven't faced yet, and who's willing to hand you their hard-earned wisdom page by page. That's not just learning, that's leverage. You're learning lessons you didn't have to pay for with your own mistakes. You're getting ahead by standing on the shoulders of others. And let's be clear, this isn't about speed. You don't have to read fast. You just have to read consistently. Whether it's 10 pages of a book on mindset, finance, relationships, health, or leadership, what matters is that you're doing it daily. Over a year, 10 pages a day means 3,650 pages. That's about 12 full books. 12 chances to learn something that could change the direction of your life. 12 different minds you've learned from. 12 tools added to your belt. That's not small. That's transformation, one page at a time. Now here's the trick, make it part of your routine. Stack it onto something you already do. Right after you wake up, right before bed, during your lunch break. The time is there, you just need to protect it. Put your book where you can see it. Carry it with you. Make it easy to access. And read books that challenge you, not ones that entertain, but ones that elevate. Ones that stretch your thinking. Ones that make you uncomfortable in the best way because they show you where you've been playing small. There will be times you read something and feel like it doesn't apply to your life right now. But trust this, what you read today might not matter this week or even this month, but 6 months from now, when life hits you with something unexpected, that one line you underlined, it'll come back. You'll remember it. You'll use it. That's what good books do. They plant something in you that grows over time. And don't just read and move on. Reflect. Sit with what you've read. Ask yourself, how does this apply to my life? Or, where can I use this idea? Think about your habits, your mindset, your decisions. Reading is the spark, but reflection is what lights the fire. Don't just collect information. Use it. Make it practical. Make it part of who you are. Most people go years without learning something new. They repeat the same patterns, live the same struggles, because they don't change what goes into their mind. Don't be most people. Be someone who learns on purpose. Be someone who decides, every day I grow a little, even if it's just 10 pages. That's how you build a stronger mind. That's how you move from confusion to clarity. That's how you stop drifting and start directing your life. You've got to fall in love with learning again. Not because someone told you to, but because you see what it gives you. Control, strength, confidence, clarity. Those things don't come from chance. They come from choosing to grow every day. It starts with a book. It starts with a page. And it starts with you. 10 pages. That's the decision. That's the standard. That's the spark that lights everything else. When you look back a year from now, you'll see the difference. Not just in what you know, but in who you've become. And you'll trace it back to a simple decision you made day after day to feed your mind instead of distract it. To grow yourself instead of numb yourself. To build instead of wait. It's easy to say you'll do it tomorrow. But the truth is, your future is built today. 1 page at a time. Number 2, watch one educational video every morning. The reality for many people is that mornings don't come easy. Alarm clocks drag them out of sleep, minds are foggy, and motivation is scarce. Yet, these first moments of the day hold the greatest power for setting the tone. Most people reach for distractions, the phone, social media, or mindless scrolling that drain energy before it's even been fully awakened. The harsh truth is, if the first thing you consume in the morning doesn't uplift or challenge your mind, you start the day at a disadvantage. But imagine starting every morning by feeding your brain with something that expands your understanding, sharpens your focus, or sparks new ideas. Watching just one educational video each morning can do that. It's a small choice with a massive impact, but few realize how important it is until years have passed and nothing has changed. When you watch an educational video in the morning, you're actively choosing to engage your mind on purpose. You're giving yourself a moment of growth before the world's noise rushes in. These videos can be on any subject that stretches your thinking, personal development, science, finance, communication, or health. The point isn't to become an expert overnight, but to consistently expose yourself to fresh ideas that challenge your current mindset. Each video plants a seed of knowledge that, over time, transforms how you approach problems, how you make decisions, and how you interact with the people around you. This practice turns your mornings from a fog of confusion into a launchpad of clarity and energy. Most people don't realize how much power this small habit holds. Watching a video is simple, yet it requires intentionality. It's not about entertainment, it's about education. You can find a video anywhere on YouTube, educational platforms, or trusted websites and invest 10 to 20 minutes before you dive into your day. That's all it takes. And because the brain is most receptive in the morning, the information sticks better. You're more alert, less distracted, and your mind is ready to soak up new perspectives. This habit rewires your brain for curiosity and learning, creating a momentum that carries through the entire day. Sometimes people say they don't have time for something like this, but the truth is, everyone has the same 24 hours. The difference is what you choose to fill those hours with. Spending 15 minutes watching a video that educates can spark ideas that change your life's trajectory. What's powerful is this daily exposure builds a strong foundation of knowledge and confidence. When you face challenges at work, in relationships, or in personal goals, you'll have a reservoir of insight to draw from. This daily learning acts like a compass. It points you toward better decisions and a clearer path. The small effort each morning builds into a mindset that refuses to settle for mediocrity. The sensory experience of watching a video, hearing the speaker's voice, seeing concepts laid out visually, engages your brain differently than reading. It makes the learning more vivid and easier to recall. When ideas come alive through stories, examples, or demonstrations, they stick with you longer. That's why video learning is so effective, especially for busy people who may not have time to read every day. This method taps into your natural ability to learn by seeing and hearing, not just by reading words. It's an immediate way to bring new knowledge into your life and make it practical. This habit requires commitment. You must guard this time fiercely. Turn off distractions, silence notifications, and make watching this video a non-negotiable part of your morning. Treat it like an appointment with yourself. No excuses, no shortcuts. When you create this sacred learning moment each day, you're sending a powerful message to your subconscious. Growing and learning are your priorities. Over time, this builds confidence and a hunger for more knowledge. The transformation doesn't happen overnight, but in the quiet accumulation of small daily actions. Many people skip this step because they believe education only happens in classrooms or through formal settings. That's a limiting mindset. Education happens wherever you decide it happens. The internet, through educational videos, has made it possible to learn from the greatest minds in the world in just minutes. The best part is that this learning is flexible and adaptable. You can choose videos on topics that excite you, that push your boundaries, or that fill gaps in your knowledge. You're in control of your own education. No one else. And that freedom means you can craft a learning experience that fits your goals and your life. There will be days when you feel tired, distracted, or overwhelmed. Those are the days when this habit matters the most. When motivation is low, discipline takes over. Watching one video in the morning can be the difference between a day wasted and a day well spent. The knowledge you gain becomes a tool you carry into meetings, conversations, or personal challenges. It sharpens your mind and prepares you to handle what comes your way. This habit builds mental strength and resilience because it trains your brain to seek growth, even in small doses. Not every video will be perfect, and not every lesson will feel life-changing. But the act of consistently feeding your mind with new information creates a mindset of progress. You build an inner voice that says, "I'm getting better every day." This mindset carries you through setbacks and opens doors you didn't know existed. The videos are not just lessons. They're reminders that learning is a lifelong journey and that every morning is an opportunity to take a step forward. It's the difference between drifting through life and steering with intention. When you commit to watching one educational video each morning, you're investing in yourself at the most important time of the day. You're choosing to start with growth, clarity, and energy instead of confusion and distraction. This habit is simple but profound. It rewires your brain to be hungry for knowledge and gives you the tools to face challenges with a fresh perspective. Most importantly, it's a daily reminder that you are capable of change and improvement. And when you realize that, your entire life begins to shift in ways you never imagined. Number 3. Listen to podcasts while doing daily tasks. Many people struggle with finding time to learn because they feel their days are already packed. They rush from one task to another, leaving little room for growth. The hard truth is, time is limited, but your mindset and habits determine whether that time is wasted or invested. When stuck in traffic, washing dishes or folding laundry, most fill the silence with nothing meaningful, often drifting into random thoughts or distractions. These moments might seem small, but they add up. What if those in-between minutes could become your secret weapon for education? Listening to podcasts while doing daily tasks transforms wasted time into powerful opportunities for learning. It's not about adding more to your plate. It's about using what's already there. A podcast is more than just background noise. It's a chance to hear new ideas, perspectives, and strategies from people who have faced challenges and found solutions. Whether it's business advice, stories of resilience, or lessons in leadership, podcasts bring the classroom to you wherever you are. The convenience is unbeatable. While your hands are busy with chores or your body is moving through routine actions, your mind can engage deeply with content that inspires and educates. This dual activity might sound overwhelming, but the brain is quite capable of absorbing auditory information without needing full visual attention. The result is a powerful form of passive learning that fits naturally into your day. Many don't take advantage of this because they underestimate the value of small pockets of time. 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there, those segments add up to hours each week. Imagine what a consistent habit of listening to educational podcasts could do over months or years. It exposes you to a steady stream of knowledge and motivation. It connects you to experts you might never meet otherwise. And more than that, it reshapes your thinking and builds mental flexibility. You start noticing patterns, picking up vocabulary, and gaining confidence to apply new ideas in your own life. You're not just hearing stories, you're being transformed by them. Using podcasts during daily tasks also helps break the monotony of repetitive chores. Those activities often feel boring and draining, but introducing stimulating content can change your experience completely. Suddenly, the time feels purposeful. Washing dishes becomes an opportunity to hear advice on productivity. Walking the dog becomes a chance to learn about mental toughness. This simple shift in how you use time increases your engagement with daily routines. It turns moments that might otherwise drag into times you look forward to. And the emotional effect is powerful. You feel less stuck, more energized, and more connected to your personal growth. Another advantage is the variety of topics available. You can choose what fits your current needs or interests. One day it might be finance, the next day mindset, and another day communication skills. This diversity prevents boredom and encourages a well-rounded education. Over time, you'll notice a deeper understanding of different areas that affect your life. The habit also sparks curiosity, pushing you to seek out new shows, authors, and experts. You become proactive in your learning instead of reactive. This makes growth feel natural, not forced. You don't have to carve out extra hours. You simply turn routine moments into powerful learning experiences. It's important to be intentional about the podcasts you choose. Not all content is created equal. Some shows are filled with fluff or repetitive chatter, which won't serve your growth. Seek out podcasts with credible hosts, guests who have real experience, and content that challenges you to think differently. The goal is to find shows that leave you feeling inspired, equipped, or at least thoughtful after every episode. This intentionality creates momentum. It builds a foundation of useful knowledge that you can apply immediately or reflect on later. The process of choosing quality content is itself a valuable skill that sharpens your judgment over time. The act of listening while working also trains your focus and multitasking ability. It requires your brain to manage two streams of information, the physical task and the audio content. This challenges your mental endurance and improves your capacity to stay present in the moment. The longer you practice, the better you get at absorbing important details without losing track of what you're doing. This skill spills over into other areas of life, helping you juggle responsibilities and challenges more effectively. You become not only more knowledgeable but also more capable of managing complexity. It's normal to feel distracted when first combining podcasts with daily tasks. Your mind might wander, or you might miss parts of the content. That's okay. The key is persistence. Over time, your brain adjusts and becomes more efficient at processing the information. You can even pause or rewind to catch things you missed. The goal is progress, not perfection. Every episode you listen to, every new idea you consider, adds to your growth. This gradual accumulation is what builds wisdom and confidence. The discipline of making this habit consistent is what turns casual listening into serious education. One of the greatest benefits of this habit is how it changes your relationship with time. Instead of feeling rushed or overwhelmed by your schedule, you begin to see pockets of opportunity everywhere. Waiting in line, commuting, cooking, or cleaning are no longer wasted moments but valuable chances to feed your mind. This shift in perspective brings a sense of control and empowerment. you start to realize that education doesn't have to be something separate from your life. It can be woven into the fabric of your daily routine. This realization fuels motivation and helps you build a growth mindset that lasts. Listening to podcasts while doing daily tasks also encourages empathy and understanding. Hearing different voices, experiences, and viewpoints broadens your perspective on the world. It challenges your assumptions and invites you to consider new possibilities. This kind of exposure is essential for personal and professional growth. It makes you more adaptable, open-minded, and ready to face the complexities of life. This emotional expansion is as important as intellectual growth. It connects learning to real-life situations, making education practical and relevant. When the habit of daily podcast listening takes root, you will notice changes not only in your knowledge, but also in your confidence and communication skills. You'll have more to contribute in conversations and a deeper understanding of the topics you care about. This builds self-esteem and creates new opportunities. The ripple effect of this simple habit can touch every part of your life, career, relationships, health, and mindset. It's a powerful example of how small, consistent actions lead to extraordinary results. It proves that education isn't about big leaps, but about steady steps taken every day. Ultimately, choosing to listen to podcasts while doing daily tasks is about reclaiming time and turning it into your greatest asset. It's a commitment to yourself that you will grow regardless of your circumstances. Life will never stop being busy, but your learning doesn't have to stop either. This habit makes sure your mind is always moving forward, always expanding. It builds a foundation of knowledge and resilience that prepares you for whatever challenges come next. This is how ordinary moments become extraordinary opportunities. This is how daily learning becomes a lifestyle. Number 4, write down 3 new things you learned. It's common for people to absorb information, but then quickly forget it. They listen, watch, or read something interesting, but it slips away as soon as the moment passes. This is one of the biggest obstacles to real growth information that doesn't stick. The truth is, knowledge without retention is almost useless. You might feel like you're learning, but if it's not written down and reflected upon, it won't build a foundation for change. Writing down 3 new things you learned each day forces you to slow down, focus, and commit those ideas to memory. This simple action bridges the gap between passive intake and active growth. The act of writing makes your brain work differently. When you take the time to put thoughts into words, you're processing the information on a deeper level. Your mind moves from just hearing or seeing something to actually understanding it. Writing creates a physical record of your learning journey, a personal archive you can revisit anytime. Over days, weeks, and months, these notes become a powerful reminder of how much progress you've made. They give you a sense of accomplishment and motivate you to keep going, especially when the road gets tough. Many people underestimate the power of small daily habits like this. Writing down 3 new things might seem insignificant, but it compounds quickly. Think about it. 3 new insights every day turn into 90 new ideas in a month and over 1,000 in a year. Each one adds value, builds confidence, and broadens your perspective. This habit keeps your mind sharp and curious. It's an ongoing commitment to growth that moves you closer to your goals. Without this practice, learning becomes scattered and fleeting. With it, learning becomes intentional and lasting. Writing also helps organize your thoughts. Sometimes when you hear something new, it feels exciting but unclear. Putting it down in writing forces you to clarify what you actually learned. This mental sorting separates useful information from distractions and highlights what matters most. It's a form of mental hygiene that cleans up confusion and sharpens your understanding. When you write, you create connections between ideas, making them more meaningful and easier to apply. It's the difference between hearing something once and truly owning it. Another important benefit is accountability. Committing to writing down 3 new things each day creates a rhythm and discipline that anchors your learning. It's a promise you make to yourself to pay attention, reflect, and grow. When you see your notes accumulate, it fuels a sense of pride and responsibility. You become more intentional about what you expose yourself to because you know you will capture and review it. This accountability drives consistency, which is the real key to long-term success in any area of life. This habit also trains your memory. The process of recalling 3 things you learned at the end of the day activates your brain's retrieval system. Instead of passively receiving information, you actively search your mind for what stuck. This strengthens neural pathways, making future learning easier and faster. Writing becomes not just a record, but a learning tool in itself. It pushes your brain to engage in a way that builds both knowledge and mental agility. Over time, this practice improves focus, retention, and cognitive clarity. Writing down your daily learning encourages reflection, which is crucial for turning knowledge into wisdom. When you pause to consider what you learned, you start to ask questions. How can I use this? Why does it matter? What impact will it have on my life? This reflective process connects ideas to your personal goals and experiences. It makes learning relevant and practical. Reflection helps you see patterns, avoid mistakes, and recognize opportunities. It transforms scattered information into actionable insight that propels you forward. A journal or notebook dedicated to this habit becomes a powerful tool for growth. It's a place where you capture not just facts, but your evolving thoughts, challenges, and breakthroughs. Reviewing your notes can reignite motivation when you feel stuck. It's proof of your effort and progress, a source of inspiration during difficult times. This tangible record strengthens your commitment to lifelong learning and personal development. It reminds you that growth is a journey made up of countless small steps. This habit also strengthens your communication skills. Writing regularly improves your ability to express ideas clearly and confidently. It builds vocabulary and sharpens your thinking. When you write down what you learn, you practice organizing information logically and succinctly. These skills transfer to conversations, presentations, and decision-making. Being able to articulate your knowledge clearly enhances your influence and leadership. It's a skill that adds value in every area of life. Writing down new learning every day creates a positive feedback loop. The more you write, the more curious and engaged you become. You seek out new information intentionally because you want to capture valuable insights. This mindset fuels a hunger for growth and continuous improvement. It builds resilience because you develop confidence in your ability to learn and adapt. This habit turns education from a task into a lifestyle where growth happens naturally and consistently. There will be days when you struggle to find 3 new things to write down. That's normal and part of the process. Those moments challenge you to pay closer attention, listen harder, and reflect deeper. Sometimes the best learning comes from simple observations or reminders rather than profound revelations. Writing anything, even small insights, keeps the habit alive. Over time, you'll find your awareness expanding, making it easier to discover new lessons everywhere. This persistence separates those who grow from those who stay stuck. Incorporating this habit into your daily routine is about creating space and time for reflection. It doesn't require hours or complicated tools, just a few minutes with a pen and paper or a notes app. The key is consistency. Whether it's morning, midday, or before bed, choose a time that works and stick to it. The habit grows stronger with repetition and becomes a natural part of your day. Eventually, it shapes how you approach information, turning you into a lifelong learner who captures every opportunity to grow. Ultimately, writing down 3 new things you learned each day is a commitment to yourself and your future. It's a way to honor the knowledge you acquire and turn it into action. This habit builds a mindset that values progress, reflection, and intentionality. It helps you stay focused and motivated on your path. The practice empowers you to transform daily experiences into powerful lessons. And as you do this over time, you become not just smarter but wiser, ready to face life's challenges with confidence and clarity. Number 5. Set one learning goal for each day. Most people drift through their days without a clear focus on what they want to learn or improve. It's easy to get caught up in routine tasks and distractions, leaving little space for meaningful growth. The reality is, without a clear learning goal, education becomes random and unfocused. You might consume information, but it rarely leads to lasting change or skill development. Setting one learning goal each day changes everything. It gives your mind a target, a clear purpose that drives your actions and decisions. This simple practice creates direction in your learning journey and fuels consistent progress. A learning goal acts like a compass. It points you toward what matters most at that moment and helps you avoid getting lost in overwhelming information. When you wake up and know exactly what you want to learn that day, your brain becomes more alert and ready. It starts scanning for opportunities to absorb relevant knowledge and experiences. This focus sharpens your ability to filter distractions and concentrate on what moves you forward. It also provides motivation because you have a tangible reason to engage with new material instead of passively scrolling or drifting. Setting just one goal each day prevents overwhelm. Too often people try to learn everything at once. They pile on topics, ideas and tasks only to end up frustrated or burned out. One goal is manageable and realistic. It builds confidence because it's achievable. Even if life gets busy or unexpected challenges arise, that single learning goal remains within reach. This approach builds momentum. Achieving one goal daily reinforces a positive habit and creates a foundation for bigger achievements over time. It turns learning from a chore into an empowering routine. The power of a daily learning goal lies in its specificity. Vague intentions like "learn something new" are easy to ignore or forget. But when you decide, for example, "Today, I will learn how to manage time more effectively," or "I will understand the basics of personal finance," you give your mind a clear mission. This clarity helps you choose the right resources and strategies. You can focus your reading, watching, or practicing on that exact subject. It streamlines your efforts and maximizes the impact of the time you invest. Specificity transforms vague ideas into concrete actions. Another important benefit is accountability. When you set a learning goal, you create a personal contract with yourself. This commitment encourages follow-through. Writing down your goal or saying it aloud makes it real. It pushes you to organize your day around that goal and resist distractions. You develop discipline and consistency, two qualities essential for long-term success. This habit of daily goal setting trains your brain to prioritize growth and treat learning as a non-negotiable part of life. Over time, you become someone who consistently improves instead of someone who hopes for change. Setting one learning goal also encourages reflection and review. At the end of the day, you can ask yourself, did I achieve my goal? What did I learn? What questions do I still have? This reflection reinforces what you've absorbed and helps you identify gaps or areas for deeper exploration. It also highlights your progress, which boosts confidence and keeps you motivated. When you see yourself moving forward step by step, the journey becomes more meaningful. Reflection ties together effort and outcome, creating a feedback loop that fuels continuous improvement. This habit naturally leads to better time management. When you know your learning goal, you can schedule focused time blocks to pursue it. You're less likely to waste time on unproductive activities. Instead, you prioritize tasks and eliminate distractions that don't serve your objective. This clarity helps you use your time intentionally, making every minute count. Learning stops being a vague, far-off ambition and becomes something concrete that fits into your daily life. Managing your time around a clear goal sharpens your productivity and balance. Choosing learning goals also builds self-awareness. As you set daily targets, you become more in tune with your interests, strengths, and weaknesses. You discover what excites you and what challenges you. This self-knowledge guides you to select goals that align with your bigger vision. It helps you avoid random or shallow learning that wastes energy. Instead, you focus on skills and knowledge that genuinely improve your life. This alignment between goals and values deepens your engagement and satisfaction. Learning becomes a personal journey of discovery, not a mechanical task. Sometimes the best learning goals come from real-life problems or situations. When you encounter a challenge, set a goal to learn how to handle it better. This approach makes learning practical and relevant. It bridges theory and action, allowing you to apply new knowledge immediately. Facing problems with a learning mindset turns obstacles into opportunities. It creates resilience and confidence because you're actively preparing yourself for future success. Learning through daily goals becomes a tool for growth, not just information gathering. There will be days when setting a learning goal feels difficult or uninspired. That's part of the process. When motivation is low, start with small or simple goals like reading one article or memorizing a useful fact. The key is to keep the habit alive regardless of circumstances. Over time, your ability to set meaningful and challenging goals will improve. The discipline you develop will carry you through ups and downs. Learning goals become a daily practice that strengthens your character and shapes your future. Having a daily learning goal also builds a sense of purpose and accomplishment. It creates a rhythm that structures your growth. This rhythm gives meaning to your actions and connects daily effort to long-term vision. Each small success reinforces your belief that change is possible and that you have control over your development. This feeling of empowerment fuels courage and persistence. You begin to see yourself not as a victim of circumstance, but as an architect of your own future. Setting a daily learning goal is a simple but profound way to take ownership of your life. This habit also encourages curiosity and creativity. When you look for a new thing to learn each day, your mind starts exploring ideas and questions it might have ignored before. It awakens your desire to understand the world more deeply. Curiosity sparks creative thinking and problem-solving, which are essential for success in any field. This mindset transforms learning from a requirement into an exciting adventure. It connects knowledge to imagination and innovation, opening doors to new possibilities. The habit of setting a learning goal each day nurtures a mindset that thrives on growth and discovery. Ultimately, setting one learning goal each day is a commitment to intentional living. It shifts your mindset from passive consumption to active pursuit of knowledge. It creates structure and focus in a world full of distractions. This simple practice builds momentum that transforms your thinking, skills, and results. It trains you to value education as a lifelong priority and integrates it seamlessly into your daily life. With this habit, you become a learner who moves steadily forward, equipped to handle challenges and seize opportunities with confidence and clarity. Number 6. Use flashcards to review important information daily. There is a common struggle many face when trying to hold on to new information. The mind quickly forgets what isn't practiced or reviewed. Most people learn something once or twice, then expect their memory to carry it forever, only to find days or weeks later that the knowledge is gone, faded like a forgotten face in a crowd. The truth is, learning without review is a one-way street to forgetting. This is where the simple but powerful tool of flashcards comes in. Using flashcards every day to review important information keeps your memory sharp and knowledge alive. It forces your brain to recall actively rather than passively absorbing, and that's the key difference between temporary learning and lasting understanding. The process of flipping through flashcards taps into a natural human ability: repetition with variation. When you look at a question or concept on one side and try to recall the answer on the other, your brain works hard to retrieve the information. This retrieval strengthens neural connections and builds memory durability. Without this effort, facts slip away easily. Flashcards challenge you to remember actively, making your brain engage with the material over and over in a way that reading or listening alone can't achieve. This daily exercise transforms weak knowledge into strong knowledge. The more consistently you review, the deeper your learning becomes. Flashcards are incredibly flexible. They can cover any subject, from vocabulary words to historical dates, formulas, or even personal development concepts. This adaptability means anyone, no matter their field or interest, can benefit. The act of writing flashcards yourself is also part of the learning process. When you create cards, you're organizing and simplifying information in your own words, which makes it easier to understand and remember. This step forces you to think about what's important and how to express it clearly. It's not just about repetition, but also about clarifying your own understanding before testing your recall. Using flashcards daily also helps to break down large volumes of information into manageable chunks. Often, people feel overwhelmed by how much there is to learn and get stuck before they even start. Flashcards offer a solution by focusing your attention on one fact or concept at a time. This bite-sized approach reduces mental overload and makes learning more approachable. Over time, you build a library of small victories. Each card mastered is a step forward. This method encourages consistent progress without pressure, turning a mountain of knowledge into a series of small hills that you can climb steadily. The sensory experience of handling physical cards or using a digital app engages multiple parts of your brain. Touching cards, flipping them over, and visually scanning text creates a connection that strengthens memory. Even digital flashcards offer interactivity that keeps you mentally alert. This multisensory involvement increases focus and reduces boredom. It creates a rhythm to your review sessions that your brain learns to anticipate and enjoy. When learning becomes interactive and hands-on, it sticks better and feels less like a chore. This engagement is crucial to staying motivated day after day. One of the biggest advantages of flashcards is the ability to customize your review sessions. You can focus more on cards you struggle with, reviewing them more frequently, while skipping those you've already mastered. This targeted repetition maximizes your efficiency by spending time where it matters most. This kind of personalized learning is rare in other methods, but essential for progress. It prevents frustration by reducing wasted effort on what you already know and boosts confidence as you see difficult concepts become easier. This control over your learning pace and focus empowers you to take charge of your education. Daily flashcard review also builds discipline and routine. When you commit to spending even a short time every day on your cards, it creates a habit that reinforces learning. This consistency is more valuable than cramming all at once. The habit of daily review helps avoid the anxiety and pressure that come with last-minute studying or forgetting important information at crucial moments. It sets you up for success by integrating learning into your daily life. This steady, manageable effort compounds over time and leads to mastery. It's a small daily action with a powerful long-term payoff. Another critical element is the mental challenge flashcards provide. Each time you attempt to recall an answer, you test your brain's strength and resilience. This challenge increases mental agility and sharpens memory skills. It makes learning active rather than passive. Instead of just seeing or hearing information, you're forcing your brain to work for it, which improves retention and understanding. This mental workout not only builds knowledge, but also improves your ability to focus and think clearly under pressure. It's like exercising your memory muscle every day. Using flashcards also helps you identify gaps in your knowledge quickly. When you stumble on certain cards, you know exactly where you need more work. This immediate feedback is invaluable because it guides your study and ensures you don't overlook weak areas. It saves time by directing your energy where it's most needed. This awareness makes your learning smarter, not harder. You can adjust your goals and strategies based on real progress rather than guesswork. This approach creates a clear path toward improvement and reduces frustration caused by uncertainty. Flashcards can be combined with other learning methods for even greater impact. After reviewing your cards, you might choose to read more about difficult topics or discuss them with others. This layering of learning styles, visual, verbal, and kinesthetic, strengthens your grasp of the material. The daily review becomes a foundation that supports deeper exploration and application. It builds confidence because you know you have a reliable way to keep key information fresh and ready to use. This synergy between review and expansion is what turns learning into a powerful tool for growth. The beauty of flashcards is that they're portable and convenient. You can carry them anywhere on your commute, during breaks, or waiting in line. This flexibility means you can make use of small pockets of time throughout your day. Instead of letting moments slip away, you turn them into opportunities to learn and reinforce knowledge. This constant, steady engagement with your learning goals keeps your mind active and reduces the chance of forgetting. Over weeks and months, these brief sessions add up to a remarkable improvement in your understanding and skills. Flashcards also foster a mindset of curiosity and continuous improvement. When you see progress from your daily reviews, it motivates you to keep going. The positive reinforcement encourages you to create new cards and explore new topics. This cycle of learning, reviewing, and expanding knowledge becomes self-sustaining. It shifts your view of education from something that happens occasionally to a daily habit that shapes your life. This mindset creates resilience because you know you can tackle any new information by breaking it down and reviewing it regularly. Many people underestimate the impact of daily review until they try it and feel the difference. It brings clarity to confusion and order to chaos. It turns scattered facts into organized knowledge that you can recall easily when needed. This ability to retrieve information quickly is essential not just for exams or work, but for everyday decision-making and problem-solving. Number 7. Teach someone else what you just learned. There's a deep truth many overlook when it comes to learning. Knowledge becomes real and lasting only when it's shared with others. It's one thing to read a page or watch a video, but it's entirely different when you take that knowledge and explain it to someone else. Many people struggle with information slipping away because they don't engage with it beyond passive consumption. The moment you teach, you shift from receiver to giver, and this shift changes everything. Teaching forces you to organize your thoughts clearly and to understand the subject on a level you might not have before. Without this step, learning is often shallow, temporary, and easily forgotten. Teaching compels you to examine your own understanding critically. When you explain an idea, you reveal any gaps or confusion in your knowledge. It's impossible to teach what you don't truly grasp. This honesty is a powerful tool because it drives you to clarify and deepen your understanding. The process of putting complex ideas into simple, clear language makes the information more accessible, not only to your listener, but also to yourself. This way, you reinforce what you've learned and build confidence in your ability to use the knowledge effectively. It's a form of active learning that turns vague concepts into solid skills. When you teach, you engage with the emotional side of learning as well. Watching someone's eyes light up when they understand something new creates a sense of connection and purpose. This emotional feedback motivates you to keep learning and improving. Teaching is not just about transferring facts, it's about inspiring and empowering others to grow. This responsibility heightens your focus and makes your own study sessions more meaningful. You become accountable not just for yourself, but also for those you're helping, which adds a layer of discipline and dedication to your learning journey. Another critical benefit of teaching is the way it reinforces memory. When you talk through ideas out loud, your brain links the information to multiple senses: speech, hearing, and even gestures. This multisensory involvement makes the knowledge stick far better than silent reading or listening alone. Explaining ideas repeatedly also strengthens neural pathways, making recall faster and easier in the future. This effect is something that passive study can't provide. Teaching creates a deeper imprint in your mind, turning temporary facts into long-term wisdom you can apply in real life. Teaching also forces you to tailor your message to your audience. This requires a clear understanding of the material because you need to adjust your explanation to different levels of prior knowledge and interest. This adaptability makes you a better communicator, a skill that goes beyond education into every area of life, whether at work, in relationships, or in leadership. When you learn to break down complex ideas into simple terms, you increase your own mastery while making the information accessible to others. This dual benefit is why teaching is one of the most powerful ways to solidify your learning. There is also a strong sense of fulfillment that comes from sharing knowledge. Many people find joy and pride in helping others succeed. This feeling creates a positive feedback loop where your desire to help drives you to learn more, which in turn allows you to teach better. This cycle creates momentum in your personal growth and transforms learning from a solitary task into a shared journey. It builds a community of growth where everyone benefits. This connection to others adds emotional weight to your educational efforts, making the process more rewarding and sustainable. Teaching encourages reflection and deeper thinking as well. When preparing to explain a concept, you often revisit the material multiple times from different angles. This repetition reveals new insights and connections you might have missed initially. It pushes you beyond memorization into true comprehension. This deeper engagement helps you see patterns and applications that expand your knowledge beyond the surface. The effort to teach forces you to think critically about the subject, which enhances your ability to apply the information in practical ways. It turns learning into a skill that can be used flexibly in real life. It's important to realize that teaching doesn't require a formal setting or a large audience. Teaching can be as simple as explaining something to a friend, discussing an idea with a coworker, or sharing a tip with a family member. These small moments matter greatly because they give you regular practice in expressing your knowledge clearly. They also build confidence in your communication skills. These everyday opportunities to teach make learning a living, breathing part of your day rather than a separate task. This approach breaks down the barriers that often keep people stuck from fully absorbing what they study. When you teach others, you also build trust and respect. People appreciate those who share valuable knowledge without holding back. This generosity opens doors and creates opportunities in personal and professional life. It establishes you as someone who is knowledgeable and willing to contribute. This reputation can lead to new connections, collaborations, and growth. Teaching is not just about helping others, it also builds your own network and influence. It's a win-win situation that adds value to your life in multiple ways. The process of teaching makes learning more interactive. Instead of a one-sided intake of information, teaching invites questions and discussions. This dynamic exchange sharpens your understanding and reveals different perspectives. It forces you to think on your feet and respond thoughtfully. This kind of active engagement is far more effective for deep learning than passive reading or listening. It also keeps your mind alert and adaptable. By interacting with others during teaching, you gain insights that enrich your knowledge and make it more applicable to real-world situations. Finally, teaching cultivates patience and humility. You learn that not everyone grasps things at the same speed or in the same way. This experience teaches you to be patient and to find new ways to communicate. It builds empathy and emotional intelligence qualities that are essential for leadership and collaboration. These qualities benefit you far beyond the learning process, shaping how you relate to others in every area of life. Teaching becomes a way to grow, not just intellectually but emotionally and socially as well. Teaching is a habit that transforms knowledge into wisdom. It takes learning from something you do alone to something that connects you with others and your purpose. This habit creates a cycle of growth and contribution that is powerful and enduring. It makes every bit of knowledge earned more valuable and more likely to stay with you for a lifetime. This is the real power of education, not just to know but to share, inspire, and empower. Number 8. Take short online courses during your free time. It's hard to admit how many hours slip away each day without us doing anything meaningful for our growth. Many find themselves caught in routines that don't challenge the mind or expand their skills. The truth is, time is the most valuable resource, yet it's also the one we waste most often without realizing it. When the day is done, we look back and wonder where the hours went. Free time is precious and limited, and if it's not used well, it becomes lost opportunity. Taking short online courses is one of the best ways to turn those small pockets of time into powerful steps forward. These courses don't demand huge commitments but can add up to massive gains over weeks and months. They offer a structured, manageable way to learn that fits into even the busiest schedules. Short online courses are designed to be practical and focused, meaning they deliver knowledge in a way that's easy to understand and apply immediately. Unlike long, overwhelming programs, these courses break down subjects into bite-sized lessons. This allows for steady progress without feeling swamped. When you commit to just a few minutes or an hour at a time, learning becomes less intimidating and more consistent. The sense of accomplishment from completing small lessons regularly builds momentum. That momentum is crucial because it keeps motivation alive and strengthens the habit of daily learning. Small, steady steps taken repeatedly are what create lasting change. The variety available in online courses is another reason they are so valuable. No matter what you want to learn, whether it's a new skill, improving your mindset, understanding business, or even personal development. There's almost always a course that matches your interest. This flexibility means you can explore areas you're curious about without feeling stuck or bored. Learning becomes exciting when you're choosing topics that matter to you. This engagement helps your brain absorb information better because you're emotionally invested. Being interested in what you study is key to maintaining enthusiasm over time, which many people struggle with in traditional learning environments. Online courses often offer the chance to learn from experts and practitioners who share real-world experiences. This practical knowledge is priceless because it's tested and proven. Unlike just reading a book or watching random videos, these courses provide structured insights that guide you through concepts with clear goals. You can follow along step by step, see examples, and understand how ideas work in action. This clarity cuts down confusion and speeds up your progress. Learning from people who have walked the path before you brings confidence and reassurance that you're investing time wisely. It also exposes you to new perspectives you might never have encountered otherwise. Another benefit of short courses is the ability to revisit lessons as many times as you need. Learning doesn't have to be one and done. When something isn't clear the first time, you can pause, replay, or review materials until it clicks. This repetition helps solidify understanding and builds long-term retention. It's a luxury that traditional classrooms often don't offer due to time constraints or schedules. Being able to control the pace of your learning reduces frustration and increases your chances of mastering the content. This control over your education fosters independence and confidence, two qualities vital for continuous growth. Taking online courses in your free time also creates a rhythm for learning that fits naturally into your life. Whether it's during lunch breaks, early mornings, or evenings after work, carving out even 15 to 30 minutes can accumulate into hundreds of hours over months. This consistency builds discipline, which spills over into other areas of life. You begin to see yourself as a learner, a person who values knowledge and actively seeks it out. This identity shift is powerful because it changes how you spend your time and what you prioritize. It's not about perfection or overwhelming yourself. It's about making education a regular part of your lifestyle. The structure of many online courses encourages goal setting and progress tracking, which helps keep you accountable. When you register for a course, you often have deadlines or milestones to meet. This framework pushes you to stay committed even when motivation dips. Seeing your progress visually can inspire you to keep going, knowing each lesson brings you closer to your goal. This sense of direction prevents aimless scrolling or wasting time on distractions. It channels your energy into something meaningful and productive, transforming small chunks of free time into focused learning sessions that bring real results. Online learning platforms often foster community through forums, chats, or live sessions. This social aspect adds another layer of motivation. Interacting with peers who are learning the same material creates support and encouragement. Sharing struggles and successes with others breaks the isolation that can come with self-study. This connection helps you stay engaged and inspired, knowing you're not alone on the journey. It also opens doors for collaboration and networking, which can lead to new opportunities. Learning with others, even virtually, transforms the experience from a solo effort to a shared adventure. The accessibility of short online courses is another major advantage. There's no need to commute or attend rigid class schedules. All you need is a device and an internet connection. This convenience removes many common barriers to education. It allows you to learn anywhere and anytime, making the process flexible and adaptable to your life's demands. When education fits seamlessly into your routine, it's easier to stick with it long term. This accessibility means that education is no longer a privilege for a few. It's available to anyone willing to invest their time and attention. It democratizes knowledge in a way that empowers people from all walks of life. Finally, the skills and knowledge gained from these courses aren't just theoretical. Many short courses are designed to provide practical tools and actionable steps. You finish lessons equipped to implement what you've learned immediately. This practicality ensures that your learning has real-world value, making your time investment worthwhile. When knowledge translates into action, it becomes a force for change in your life. This is how learning becomes more than just an idea. It becomes a powerful tool to improve your circumstances, open new doors, and build a better future. Taking short online courses in your free time is not just education, it's a commitment to constant improvement and growth that pays dividends throughout life. Number 9. Follow educational pages on your social media. Most people scroll through their social media feeds every single day without much thought about what they're consuming. The reality is that a lot of that time is wasted on content that doesn't build you up or push you forward. Endless memes, pointless arguments, and flashy distractions fill your feed, but they don't contribute to your growth. Imagine if instead of mindless scrolling, you filled your feed with content that taught you something valuable, that stretched your thinking, or inspired action. Following educational pages on social media is a simple but powerful way to turn a habit many people already have into a daily learning experience. It transforms moments of downtime into opportunities for improvement. When you choose to follow pages that share useful, accurate information, you feed your brain with fresh ideas every day. These pages can cover a wide range of topics, from personal development to business, science, history, or practical skills. The key is the consistency of exposure. Seeing small bits of valuable content daily plants seeds in your mind. Over time, these seeds grow into bigger insights and new habits. The convenience of social media means this knowledge comes to you without extra effort. Instead of hunting for books or courses, you receive regular, bite-sized lessons that keep your mind active and curious. The emotional impact of this is important. When your feed becomes a source of inspiration, motivation, and education, it changes how you feel about your day and yourself. Instead of frustration or boredom after scrolling, you feel uplifted and empowered. There's a sense of progress, even if it's subtle. That feeling builds confidence and self-respect because you are investing time in yourself. When you wake up and check your phone, the first thing you see can be a quote that challenges your thinking or a quick tip that improves your habits. These small jolts of positive energy accumulate, affecting your mood and mindset in meaningful ways. The sensory experience of scrolling educational content can also be surprisingly rich. Many pages use videos, infographics, or images that make learning more engaging and memorable. This visual stimulation helps your brain connect with the information more deeply. When a concept is presented clearly and attractively, it's easier to understand and recall later. It's different from reading plain text because it activates different parts of your brain. The more senses you involve in learning, the stronger the impression you make on yourself. This approach to education fits perfectly with how people consume content today: fast, visual, and immediate, yet it delivers substance instead of empty entertainment. Another advantage of following educational pages is the variety and diversity of perspectives you encounter. Social media connects you with voices from around the world, with different backgrounds and expertise. This diversity enriches your understanding and broadens your horizons. You might stumble upon ideas that challenge your beliefs or expose you to solutions you hadn't considered. Exposure to multiple viewpoints strengthens critical thinking and helps you become more adaptable. It also reduces the trap of narrow thinking that happens when you only engage with familiar opinions. This openness to new ideas is essential for growth and innovation. There's also a community element on social media that shouldn't be overlooked. When you follow educational pages, you join a group of like-minded learners. Comment sections, live streams, and shared posts create opportunities for interaction and discussion. Engaging with others who are committed to learning increases accountability. It pushes you to think more deeply, ask questions, and clarify your understanding. Social interaction in this context motivates you to stay consistent because you're part of something bigger than yourself. Knowing others are on the same journey can provide encouragement on days when motivation is low. One practical tip is to be selective and intentional about which pages you follow. Not all educational content is created equal. Some pages might oversimplify, spread misinformation, or focus on clickbait rather than quality. It takes effort to curate a feed that truly educates and inspires. Look for pages run by credible experts, educators, or organizations with a strong track record. Regularly review your feed and unfollow pages that don't add value. Over time, you will build a personalized learning stream tailored to your goals and interests. This customization makes the habit enjoyable and sustainable. The real power of this habit comes from the compound effect. Daily exposure to educational content shapes your mindset and knowledge incrementally but surely. It's not about becoming an expert overnight. It's about consistent, small steps that lead to significant growth over months and years. This continuous inflow of ideas helps you stay current, adapt to changes, and seize new opportunities. The world moves fast, and those who keep learning daily stay ahead. Your social media feed can be your ally in this process if you control what you consume. Lastly, this habit is empowering because it puts learning in your hands at all times. Whether you're waiting in line, riding a bus, or taking a break, your phone becomes a gateway to education. It's a reminder that growth is possible anywhere and anytime. This shift in mindset, from seeing social media as a time drain to a learning tool, changes your relationship with technology. Instead of being controlled by distractions, you take control of what influences your mind. That kind of awareness is crucial for anyone serious about improving their life through daily education. The simple act of following the right educational pages can transform your feed, your mind, and your future. Number 10. Reflect on mistakes to extract valuable lessons. It's a tough truth that many people avoid facing their mistakes. The discomfort, the embarrassment, even the frustration that comes with recognizing when things have gone wrong is something most try to escape. But this avoidance is exactly what keeps growth locked out of reach. Mistakes are not signs of failure, they are signals. They point out where adjustments are needed. They reveal the cracks in your approach or understanding. Reflection on these moments is where real education happens. The difference between those who stagnate and those who advance lies in how they deal with their errors. The ones who get ahead don't ignore mistakes. They face them squarely, analyze them deeply, and pull out lessons that transform their future. Looking at mistakes honestly requires courage, because it means acknowledging responsibility without blaming others or external factors. This process forces you to slow down and observe your actions, decisions, and their consequences with clear eyes. When you reflect, you shift from a reactive state filled with regret to a proactive state filled with learning. This mental shift changes your entire outlook on challenges. Instead of fear or shame, you begin to see mistakes as tools for discovery. Each error carries valuable information that sharpens your judgment and hones your skills. The emotional weight starts to lighten when you realize mistakes aren't permanent marks, but temporary guides toward improvement. To make reflection effective, it needs structure. A simple way is to ask yourself specific questions about what happened. What was I trying to accomplish? Where did I go wrong? What could I have done differently? What did this experience teach me about my strengths or weaknesses? Writing down the answers can deepen the insight because the act of putting thoughts on paper clarifies them. This habit encourages accountability and commitment to change. It is not enough to feel bad or regret. You must document and dissect the mistake to extract actionable lessons. This turns vague frustration into focused wisdom that you can apply moving forward. Emotions play a huge role in this process. Reflection allows you to process feelings of disappointment or failure instead of suppressing them. When you take time to sit with your emotions, you give yourself space to heal and grow. Bottling up frustration only clouds judgment and creates mental blocks. Honest reflection releases these blocks and restores mental clarity. It empowers you to face similar situations in the future with greater calm and confidence. This emotional intelligence built through reflection strengthens resilience. You become less likely to be knocked down by setbacks because you have learned how to stand back up wiser than before. Sensory details also enrich reflection. Recalling the environment, the people involved, and the exact circumstances of the mistake helps you understand context. For example, remembering the stress in your body or the tone of voice during a conversation can explain why things went off track. This awareness sharpens your ability to recognize warning signs earlier next time. It also helps you adapt strategies to different situations rather than repeating the same errors. Reflection isn't just about abstract thinking, it's about reconnecting with the full experience to make sense of it on multiple levels. This multi-layered understanding is what leads to meaningful change. Another important aspect is timing. Reflection should happen soon enough after the mistake, while the details are fresh, but also when emotions are manageable. Waiting too long can blur the memory and reduce the impact of lessons learned. But rushing in while overwhelmed might cloud judgment with raw feelings. Finding this balance requires practice and self-awareness. Scheduling quiet moments alone, away from distractions, creates the right environment for reflection. This intentional pause is a commitment to your growth. It signals that your development is a priority, not an afterthought. The discipline of reflection itself builds habits that improve every area of life. Reflection also fosters humility, a crucial trait for continuous learning. Admitting mistakes means accepting that you don't have all the answers, which opens the door to new knowledge. Humility keeps arrogance in check and curiosity alive. It encourages you to seek advice, read more, or try different approaches. The more humble you are, the more teachable you become. And teachability is the foundation of all education. Without it, progress stalls. Reflection reminds you that no matter how much you know, there's always room to grow by understanding where you have fallen short. The ripple effects of this habit go beyond personal growth. When you consistently reflect on mistakes, you become a role model for others. People notice when someone owns up to errors and learns from them. It builds trust and respect because it shows maturity and integrity. This openness encourages a culture of learning and improvement in your family, workplace, or community. Others are inspired to embrace their mistakes instead of hiding them. This creates an environment where challenges become opportunities for collective progress rather than sources of blame or fear. Moreover, reflection equips you to make smarter decisions in the future. By reviewing past failures, you identify patterns that might have been invisible before. These patterns reveal habits or mindsets that undermine your success. Understanding these root causes enables targeted action rather than random attempts to fix problems. Reflection sharpens your problem-solving skills because it connects past experience with present challenges. You develop a strategic mindset that anticipates obstacles and plans responses in advance. This foresight increases your chances of achieving your goals with less wasted effort. Reflection also balances optimism with realism. It stops you from falling into denial or unrealistic expectations after setbacks. Facing mistakes honestly grounds your plans in reality. It forces you to confront what actually happened, not what you wished would happen. This clarity is essential for setting achievable goals and building confidence based on true progress. Optimism without realism leads to disappointment. Realism without optimism leads to stagnation. Reflection blends these two so you stay hopeful but also prepared. This balanced mindset is a powerful driver of lasting success. Ultimately, reflecting on mistakes is an ongoing education process that never ends. Life will keep presenting challenges and opportunities to err. Those who thrive are the ones who welcome these moments as lessons, not punishments. This mindset turns every difficulty into a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more capable. It transforms the fear of failure into curiosity about what can be learned, and it fuels continuous improvement because each lesson adds to a foundation of knowledge that supports your growth journey. Reflection is the bridge between experience and education that turns life's setbacks into stepping stones forward. Number 11. Join online communities related to your interests. Most people wake up every day stuck in the same loop. They check their phones, scroll through social media, maybe binge-watch a show, or complain about how tired or unmotivated they feel. They feel something is missing, but they don't know what it is. It's not energy. It's not time. It's connection. And not just connection with other people, but connection with purpose, curiosity, and learning. One of the greatest problems people face today isn't lack of opportunity, it's isolation. They're not surrounded by people who inspire them. They're not hearing new ideas. They're not growing because they're not plugged into a space that stretches their mind. And in today's world, that isolation is a choice. Because you can now find people who share your goals, values, and dreams from anywhere on the planet. It just takes intention. When you join an online community that matches your interests, you're doing something powerful. You're surrounding yourself with people who think forward, people who are working on something meaningful, people who ask questions and push boundaries. That energy is contagious. It pulls you out of that mental fog. You stop feeling like the only one who's trying to grow. You see others doing the work, sharing what they learn, asking better questions, offering help, and challenging ideas. And that kind of interaction makes you sharper. It makes you think deeper. You begin to want more out of your days. You begin to care more about what you feed your mind. Being part of a growth-focused environment reminds you that you're not alone and that your growth matters. You can't grow if you're stuck in an environment that doesn't challenge you. If the people around you talk about the same problems every day, complain about the same things, and do nothing to improve, you're going to sink with them. That's why you must choose your surroundings carefully, even online. Pick communities that have structure, that offer real discussions, and that encourage daily learning. A great online community doesn't just share surface-level tips. It dives into real topics. It shares resources, it offers accountability, and it makes you feel like your input matters. Whether it's a private group, a forum, a Discord server, or a learning platform, find the ones that fit your goals and values. You also learn faster when you're part of a group. Think about it. Someone in the group reads a book and shares the key lessons. Someone else finishes a course and summarizes what they got out of it. Another person brings up a challenge they're facing, and a discussion opens up with ideas and solutions. You're exposed to experiences, mistakes, and breakthroughs that would have taken you years to figure out on your own. This is the power of learning through others. It's like gaining 10 lifetimes of knowledge in a fraction of the time. That kind of learning is practical. It's raw, it's real, and it sticks with you because you didn't just read it, you experienced it through interaction. If you want to grow, you must engage. Don't just join these communities to lurk. Participate, ask questions, share your insights, respond to others. When you do that, you're training your mind to think actively instead of passively. You're not just consuming information, you're using it. And when you use information, it becomes a part of you. You become more confident in what you know. You become more open to being challenged. You stop fearing that you don't know enough. You stop pretending and start participating. This is how you build real knowledge. Not by sitting on the sidelines, but by jumping in, sharing, learning, and growing with others who are doing the same. People often say they don't have time to learn, but they spend hours scrolling through content that does nothing for them. The solution isn't always more time. It's better choices. Imagine if you replaced 15 minutes of social scrolling with 15 minutes in a community conversation about a subject you care about. Imagine if instead of watching the latest drama, you watched a thread unfold where people discussed how to manage your time better, or how to start a project, or how to stay disciplined. That would shift your energy. It would shift your mood. It would give your day meaning. The key is not just what you do, it's who you do it around. And these online spaces are filled with people who've been where you are and who are moving where you want to go. Joining a strong community also builds consistency. When you see others showing up every day, learning something new, improving just a little, it pushes you to do the same. It creates healthy pressure. It raises your standards. You don't want to be the one who stays stuck. You want to rise to meet the level of the group. This is why they say you grow into the standards of your environment. You begin to reflect the expectations of the people you associate with. That's not just motivation, it's structure. And structure is what most people are missing. Online communities that are focused, supportive, and growth-minded provide that structure. Not every group will be a good fit. Some will waste your time. Some will feel shallow. That's okay. You need to be selective. Spend time finding the right one. Look for active members, meaningful conversations, and clear values. Look for a space where learning is encouraged, not mocked. Where progress is celebrated, not envied. Where effort is respected, even if the results are still small. That kind of environment is rare, but it exists. And once you find it, it can become one of the most valuable tools in your growth journey. Being part of the right online community gives you feedback. And feedback is one of the fastest ways to grow. You get to share your ideas and hear how they land. You get to receive suggestions that open new perspectives. You get to hear how others think, and that sharpens your own thinking. You start to understand the difference between opinion and knowledge. You begin to improve how you communicate, how you reason, and how you act on what you learn. Feedback turns random ideas into clear understanding, and clarity drives better action. Don't underestimate how much your life can change just by being in the right group of people, even virtually. If you want to educate yourself daily, you must intentionally choose where your mind hangs out. Your mental environment shapes your emotional state, your goals, and your confidence. When you step into a space full of learners, builders, readers, and thinkers, you become one of them. Their habits rub off on you. Their discipline challenges you. Their progress fuels your own. When you wake up tomorrow, ask yourself one question. Where can I go online to connect with people who care about learning the way I do? Not for attention, not for noise, but for growth. Make that your mission. Because when you place yourself in the right company, even online, you stop drifting. You stop wasting time. You start becoming someone new. And that's how daily self-education begins, not alone, not in silence, but surrounded by people who are becoming better right along with you. Number 12. Ask one deep question and research the answer. Most people go through their entire day without thinking deeply. They wake up, check their phones, go to work or school, follow a routine, and crash into bed at night without ever asking themselves anything that truly stretches the mind. They feel tired, overwhelmed, or sometimes even numb, not because they're doing too much, but because they're thinking too little. Their days are filled with noise, but not depth. Their minds are full of distractions, but not direction. The truth is, your brain doesn't grow just by doing more. It grows by thinking better. And the way to think better is by asking better questions. Asking one deep question a day might sound simple, but it's one of the most powerful habits you can build if you're serious about educating yourself daily. You don't need a classroom, a degree, or a mentor. You need curiosity. You need a moment of pause in your day where you ask yourself something real, something meaningful, something that makes you stop and reflect. Questions like, why do I believe what I believe? Or, what's the biggest lesson I learned from my last failure? Or, what does success actually mean to me? These aren't questions with quick answers. They're questions that peel back layers. And in the process of trying to answer them, you learn more about yourself, the world, and how everything connects. The beauty of one deep question is that it opens a door to ideas, to insights, to learning that is alive. Once you ask it, your brain begins to search. And that search, whether it leads you to a book, a podcast, an article, or a quiet reflection, is what creates real growth. You begin to see how much you don't know. You realize how surface level your thinking has been. You see the gaps in your understanding. And instead of feeling discouraged, you feel alive. Because finally, you're not just coasting through the day, you're digging into it. You don't need to ask big philosophical questions every time. A deep question is any question that forces you to think beyond the obvious. It's something that challenges your assumptions, your habits, your way of seeing. For example, why do I procrastinate when I know it hurts me? Or, what kind of person do I become when I'm under pressure? Or, am I living out someone else's dream or my own? These are the kinds of questions that wake you up. They challenge your autopilot. They invite you to investigate, not just react. And in that process of investigation, your education begins. Once you've asked the question, the next step is to research the answer not through random scrolling, but through focused learning. Type your question into a search engine, not to skim, but to study. Look for articles that go deep. Find podcasts where people have wrestled with the same question. Watch videos or read essays that explore the topic with clarity. And as you gather insights, don't just read, reflect. Take a moment to sit with what you've learned. Ask yourself, how does this apply to my life? What part of this do I agree with? What part do I resist? That's how you turn knowledge into wisdom. That's how learning becomes personal. This habit is not about quantity. It's not about asking 10 questions and getting shallow answers. It's about choosing one and going deep, really deep. You might spend an hour on it. You might spend a whole day. The point is to think until you see differently, to learn until you feel something shift inside you. That's when the question has done its job. It's not just a question anymore, it's a tool that shaped you. And once that happens, you're not the same. You've grown. You've built a new mental muscle. And the more you repeat this, the sharper your mind becomes. Over time, this daily practice rewires how you see the world. You become someone who doesn't settle for surface-level answers. You start noticing the patterns in people's behavior, the gaps in what they say versus what they do. You listen differently. You speak more thoughtfully. You stop needing constant entertainment because your mind is engaged in something far more rewarding thinking. And people notice that. They see that you don't react like everyone else. That you carry a kind of clarity, a kind of grounded wisdom that can't be faked. That's what deep learning does. It transforms how you show up in the world. You can write your question down in a notebook or in a notes app on your phone. Give it space. Don't rush to answer it. Sit with it throughout the day. Let your mind chew on it while you walk, while you eat, while you drive. Sometimes the answer won't come right away. That's okay. The real power is in the asking. That's where the growth begins. When you form the habit of asking and exploring one deep question daily, you train your brain to think instead of react, to reflect instead of escape, to grow instead of stay stuck. This is not about being perfect. It's not about becoming a scholar. It's about becoming awake, awake to how you think, awake to how you live, awake to what you want. One deep question a day builds self-awareness, and self-awareness is the foundation of real, lasting growth. It's what allows you to make better choices, build stronger habits, and lead a life that's truly yours. You'll notice something else too. The more you ask these kinds of questions, the more interesting life becomes. People become more complex. Conversations become more meaningful. Even ordinary moments take on new depth, because you're not just living through them, you're learning from them. Every experience becomes a lesson. Every mistake becomes a teacher. And that's what daily education looks like. It's not sitting in a classroom. It's being present to life and asking the right questions. If you've ever felt stuck, bored, or like your mind is drifting, it's probably because you're not asking enough of it. Your brain is hungry for meaning, not just information, and meaning comes from questioning. It comes from exploring the why and the how, not just the what. You don't need all the answers today. You just need the courage to ask, to get quiet, to wonder, to dig. Ask one deep question a day. Make it a ritual. Make it non-negotiable. Let it lead you to books, to ideas, to people, to experiences that you would have never found otherwise. Let it open up your world. Let it sharpen your focus. Let it turn your ordinary day into a journey of discovery. Because once you start living that way, you won't go back. You'll know too much. You'll see too clearly. You'll feel too alive. And that is the power of one deep question. Number 13, replace entertainment time with learning sessions. Every day, millions of people find themselves trapped in a cycle where hours slip away without leaving any lasting value. It's easy to fall into the habit of spending time on entertainment, watching TV shows, scrolling social media feeds, or playing games because it's comfortable, it's easy, and it demands nothing from us mentally. But what most don't realize is that these hours, when added up, become a barrier between where they are now and where they could be if they invested in themselves. The harsh reality is that entertainment is often a form of escape, not growth. If the goal is to educate yourself daily, you need to start replacing some of that entertainment time with intentional learning sessions. This isn't about giving up joy or relaxation. It's about choosing to fuel your mind in ways that serve your future self. When you decide to swap just a portion of your entertainment time with focused learning, you take control over your growth. Imagine waking up and instead of scrolling endlessly through videos or getting lost in a binge watch, you pick up a book, listen to a podcast, or watch a documentary that expands your knowledge. That small shift can create a ripple effect throughout your day. It sharpens your thinking, improves your focus, and fills your mind with ideas and inspiration rather than distractions. The difference between a person who grows and a person who stays stuck often comes down to how they manage these everyday choices. It's not about quitting all entertainment or becoming a workaholic. It's about balance and making the hours you spend daily count for more. Entertainment has its place, but when it dominates your free time, it leaves little room for learning. The average person might spend 2, 3, even 4 hours a day consuming entertainment that provides little long-term benefit. Now imagine cutting that time in half and dedicating that extra hour or two to learning something new. That's the kind of change that compounds over weeks, months, and years. It's how ordinary days turn into extraordinary growth. Starting this change can feel difficult at first. Entertainment is designed to be addictive and immediately gratifying. Learning often requires effort and patience. But here's the truth. Growth never happens in comfort zones. It happens when you choose to do what's harder because you know it leads to something better. This means scheduling specific times in your day for learning. Maybe it's 15 minutes in the morning before your day begins, or 30 minutes during your lunch break. It could be an hour in the evening, replacing the time you'd spend watching reruns or scrolling feeds. When you commit to these learning sessions, it becomes easier to resist the pull of mindless entertainment because you're filling that space with something meaningful. The key to success is to make learning engaging and relevant to you. Don't force yourself into dry textbooks or topics that bore you. Find areas that spark your interest, whether it's a new language, personal finance, history, or skills related to your work. Use videos, audiobooks, or online courses that make learning enjoyable. The goal is to replace passive consumption with active education. When you engage your mind actively, your brain builds connections, your curiosity grows, and your retention improves. Over time, this habit of replacing entertainment with learning sessions rewires your brain for continuous improvement. Another important aspect is to recognize that entertainment often numbs emotions or distracts from uncomfortable feelings. Sometimes people use it to avoid stress, loneliness, or boredom. Learning, on the other hand, can bring challenge, but it also brings purpose and satisfaction. It helps you face life's difficulties with more clarity and strength. When you spend time learning, instead of just escaping, you build resilience. You gain tools that help you handle challenges more effectively. This alone makes the effort worthwhile. In the beginning, it's normal to struggle with this shift. You might find your mind wandering back to entertainment habits. That's natural. Change doesn't happen overnight. But every time you consciously choose to learn instead of just consume, you're training your brain to value growth. You're teaching yourself that your time is precious and deserves to be invested wisely. This mindset will grow stronger, and soon, learning sessions will feel just as natural and rewarding as entertainment once did. This choice also impacts how you view success and failure. When your brain is fed with ideas and knowledge daily, you start thinking differently about your goals and setbacks. You become more solution-oriented. You stop being discouraged by failure and start seeing it as part of the learning process. That's a mindset that separates those who keep moving forward from those who stay stuck in frustration. Learning sessions, even short ones, build that mindset because they remind you that growth is possible and progress is real. Remember, the person you want to become is shaped by what you choose to focus on every day. If entertainment dominates your time, you'll stay where you are. If learning becomes a priority, you'll move closer to your goals every day. Replacing entertainment with learning sessions is not a sacrifice. It's an investment in your future. The more you do it, the more you realize that learning is not a chore, but a powerful, energizing part of life. It becomes a habit that fuels your confidence, creativity, and success. Eventually, these learning sessions become a foundation for lifelong education. You'll find that knowledge gained doesn't just stay in your mind. It changes how you act, how you relate to others, and how you handle challenges. Your skills improve, your opportunities increase, and your sense of purpose deepens. The simple act of choosing learning over entertainment is one of the most effective ways to educate yourself daily. It's accessible, practical, and transformative. This is about reclaiming your time and using it intentionally. The clock ticks the same for everyone, but what you do with those hours defines your life story. Entertainment may be tempting, but education builds your future. By consistently replacing entertainment with learning, you build a daily habit that sets you apart. You create momentum. You shape a life where growth is constant and your potential is unlocked. This daily decision, small as it seems, leads to extraordinary results in the long run. Number 14. Try one new skill and practice it daily. Most people want to improve themselves, but they often get stuck in routines that do not challenge their minds or stretch their abilities. It is a common experience to feel frustrated with progress or growth because there is no new effort being made. If education is truly a daily goal, then learning a new skill every day is one of the most powerful ways to reach it. Not only does this push you out of your comfort zone, but it also creates momentum for continuous improvement. Trying one new skill and practicing it daily breaks the cycle of stagnation and turns growth into a habit that can change your life. When you pick a new skill, it should be something that excites you or interests you deeply. If it feels like a burden or a chore, it will be hard to keep practicing. This skill can be anything, from learning a few words in a new language to trying simple cooking techniques, or even practicing a new way to organize your day. The key is consistency. Doing a little bit every day builds muscle memory, sharpens your mind, and rewires your brain to adapt and grow. This daily effort, no matter how small, is what separates those who evolve and those who remain stuck in the same place. Many people make the mistake of waiting until they have a large block of time to start learning something new. This is an illusion that stops progress before it even begins. Progress is built in small, consistent steps, not in big leaps. Even 10 or 15 minutes of practice every day will create progress over time. This is a simple truth that few understand fully. The brain is designed to learn when you repeat actions regularly. A daily habit of practicing one new skill keeps your brain engaged and helps you develop a growth mindset. There will be moments of frustration and failure. This is natural. New skills require patience and persistence. No one becomes an expert overnight. The difference is in how you respond to these challenges. Some give up and return to old habits. Others keep going and use failure as feedback. When you make practice daily, you train yourself to tolerate discomfort. You learn to trust the process. Over time, the skills you build will add up and confidence will grow. This combination of effort and mindset makes education a living experience instead of a distant goal. Trying a new skill daily also trains you to be open to change. Many people resist change because it feels unsafe or difficult. But learning new skills rewires the brain to become more adaptable and creative. When you expose yourself to new challenges often, your brain starts seeing the world differently. It looks for solutions instead of problems. It grows curiosity instead of fear. This kind of mental shift improves not just your skill set, but your whole approach to life. It builds resilience and opens doors that were once closed. Practice does not have to be complicated. The simplest tasks done with focus and intention will lead to improvement. For example, if you want to improve your writing, write a paragraph every day. If you want to get better at public speaking, record yourself talking about a topic daily. If your goal is physical fitness, start with a few minutes of movement each day. These small daily actions shape a powerful habit loop. The habit becomes part of who you are. Eventually, you won't need motivation to practice. The action will feel natural and necessary. The most successful people in the world are not different from you. They simply choose to practice skills daily. This decision is a game changer. It builds discipline, focus, and self-respect. The growth that happens through daily practice changes how you see yourself. It moves you from feeling stuck to feeling capable. When you try one new skill each day, you are making a commitment to your future self. You are investing time in becoming the best version of yourself. This kind of education cannot be bought or borrowed. It must be earned through effort and consistency. It is also important to track your progress. Keeping a simple record of what you practiced each day will give you a sense of achievement. This feedback motivates you to keep going. When you look back and see how far you have come, it builds confidence and excitement. That feeling makes the process enjoyable. You begin to see learning as a rewarding part of life. The act of trying one new skill daily turns education into an adventure. It keeps your mind alive and growing, and it prepares you for whatever challenges come your way. Do not wait for the perfect moment to start. The best time to begin is now. You do not need expensive tools or complicated plans. What you need is a decision to try and a promise to yourself to keep going. Daily practice of a new skill is simple and powerful. It changes how your brain works, how your habits form, and how your life unfolds. When education becomes a daily practice through skill building, growth is inevitable. It is a step-by-step process that anyone can do. It only requires the willingness to start and the patience to continue. There will be days when progress feels slow or invisible. This is normal. Growth is not always obvious, but it is always happening beneath the surface. Trust that your effort matters even if you do not see immediate results. The daily practice of a new skill prepares you for bigger opportunities. It sharpens your ability to learn faster and adapt better. This makes every challenge easier to face. The daily habit of trying something new fuels your mind, strengthens your character, and expands your potential. It is the foundation for a lifetime of education and success. Keep in mind that learning a new skill daily is not about perfection. It is about progress. Each day's effort adds value to your life. Each new skill makes you stronger, wiser, and more capable. This commitment builds momentum. It creates a life where learning is not just a task, but a joyful experience. The brain craves new information and challenges. Feeding that hunger daily leads to lasting change. The power to educate yourself every day lies in your hands. It is a choice to grow, to move forward, and to become more than you were yesterday. Number 15. Keep a journal to track your knowledge growth. Most people do not realize how powerful a simple journal can be in their learning journey. Many try to learn new things but fail to keep track of their progress. This makes it hard to see how far they have come. Without a clear record, motivation can fade quickly. Writing down what you learn every day changes everything. It turns education from a vague idea into something real and visible. When you keep a journal, you create a personal map of your growth. This helps you stay focused, understand your strengths, and identify areas where you can improve. The act of writing itself makes learning deeper. When you put your thoughts and discoveries on paper, your brain processes information more thoroughly. It forces you to organize your ideas clearly. This leads to better understanding and longer retention of knowledge. People who write regularly report that they remember lessons better and can apply what they learn more effectively. Journaling is not just about noting facts. It is about reflecting on what you discover and how it changes your perspective. This reflection builds wisdom, which is the true goal of education. Journaling also creates a habit that supports daily learning. It reminds you to stop and review your day's knowledge. This pause allows your mind to absorb information instead of rushing to the next thing. A journal becomes a space where you connect with your growth. You start to see patterns in your learning. You notice which methods work best for you. Over time, this awareness helps you design a learning plan that fits your life and goals. When you track your progress daily, learning becomes intentional instead of accidental. This intention turns small steps into big achievements. Many people avoid journaling because they think it takes too much time or is too difficult. The truth is that a simple, quick entry each day is enough to make a difference. Even a few sentences about what you learned, how you felt, or what questions you have can provide clarity and motivation. You do not need perfect grammar or style. Your journal is for your eyes only. It is a safe place to be honest about your successes and struggles. This honesty helps you build resilience. You learn to celebrate progress and learn from setbacks without judgment. Keeping a journal can also reveal surprising connections between different ideas. When you write regularly, your brain starts to link concepts in new ways. This leads to creative insights and better problem-solving skills. Over time, your journal becomes a treasure trove of knowledge that reflects your unique learning path. It shows how your thinking has evolved and where your passions lie. This kind of self-awareness is crucial for personal growth. It helps you focus your efforts on what matters most to you. A journal is like a mirror that shows your intellectual and emotional development. Some people use digital tools for journaling, while others prefer paper. Either method works as long as it suits your lifestyle. The important part is to make journaling a daily habit. Set a specific time each day to write. Many find it helpful to journal in the morning to set intentions or in the evening to reflect on the day. Find what works best for you and stick to it. Over time, this daily practice will become a vital part of your education routine. It keeps you accountable and connected to your goals. Tracking your knowledge growth in a journal also prepares you for bigger challenges. When you face new situations, you can look back at your journal for lessons learned and strategies that worked. This boosts your confidence and problem-solving ability. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, you will feel ready to tackle whatever comes your way. The journal becomes a personal coach that guides you through ups and downs. It reminds you that growth is a process, not a destination. Every entry is a step forward on that journey. The emotional benefits of journaling are just as important as the intellectual ones. Writing about your learning experiences helps manage stress and build a positive mindset. When you record challenges and victories, you create emotional balance. This balance makes it easier to stay motivated and resilient. The journal becomes a safe outlet for expressing doubts and fears. At the same time, it celebrates your progress and strengths. This combination of honesty and encouragement is essential for sustained education. It keeps your spirit alive even when the road gets tough. You may be surprised at how quickly a journal can change your relationship with learning. What once felt like a task can become a source of inspiration. Seeing your growth in writing fuels your desire to keep learning. It turns knowledge into a living experience that shapes your identity. You start to see yourself as someone who is constantly improving. This shift in self-image creates a powerful motivation cycle. The more you write, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you want to write. This cycle builds a life filled with continuous education. A journal also helps you set clear goals and measure progress. When you write about what you want to achieve, you create a roadmap. This roadmap guides your daily learning choices. You can break big goals into smaller, manageable tasks. Then you track your completion and adjust as needed. This kind of planning turns overwhelming ambitions into achievable steps. Journaling makes education not just a hope, but a plan with measurable results. It keeps your efforts focused and productive every day. Many successful people attribute their growth to regular journaling. They credit it for clarity of thought and emotional stability. Journaling creates discipline, reflection, and a habit of learning from every experience. You do not have to be a writer or a scholar to benefit. Anyone can start a journal today and watch their education transform. It is a simple tool with profound effects. It makes learning personal, deliberate, and lasting. When you keep a journal to track your knowledge growth, you invest in yourself in a way that no one else can. Start with honesty and commitment. Write about what you learn, how you feel, and what you want next. This simple act creates a powerful connection to your education. It turns daily learning into a meaningful journey. The journal is more than paper or a screen. It is your companion in growth. It records your efforts, your thoughts, and your transformation. This keeps you moving forward with confidence and purpose. Journaling to track knowledge growth is one of the most practical and empowering habits anyone can build for lifelong education. Number 16. Review your notes before going to sleep. Many people underestimate the power of what they do right before they fall asleep. The reality is that the moments before sleep hold great influence over how your mind works. Most of us go through a busy day filled with distractions and information. Then, at night, we let our minds drift without focus. This makes it harder to retain the important things we learned. But when you take time to review your notes before sleeping, something remarkable happens. Your brain starts organizing those new ideas deeply while you rest. This simple habit turns sleep into a powerful tool for learning. When you review notes before bed, you engage your brain in a gentle, focused activity. The brain does not just shut down at night. It keeps working quietly to sort through the day's events and information. If you feed your mind with meaningful content before sleep, it prioritizes those memories. It builds connections between new facts and what you already know. This improves long-term retention. Many studies show that people who review material before sleeping perform better at recalling it later. This is not magic, but a natural function of the human mind. Using this process intentionally gives you a huge advantage in education. People often fill their last waking moments with distractions like social media, television, or aimless scrolling. These activities do not help the brain focus on what matters most. Instead, they create noise that weakens memory formation. Switching to reviewing notes requires discipline but brings results. The experience is different from reading fresh content. Instead, you revisit ideas you have already encountered. This repetition strengthens the memory trace in your mind. Over time, the notes become easier to recall and use. This makes learning more efficient and less stressful. The environment you create for reviewing notes before sleep also affects the quality of your learning. Sitting somewhere quiet with soft lighting helps calm your mind. Using your own handwriting or typed notes that you created makes the review personal. Engaging multiple senses by reading aloud or writing keywords enhances the effect. This kind of multisensory review increases your brain's ability to hold on to information. It also builds confidence as you recognize your progress. When you feel more confident, you stay motivated to keep learning. The simple act of reviewing before bed becomes a moment of empowerment rather than a chore. Reviewing your notes before sleep also helps in organizing your thoughts and reducing mental clutter. As you look through what you wrote or highlighted, your brain filters out what is irrelevant. It focuses on what is truly important. This process clears space in your mind for new learning the next day. When the mind is less cluttered, you feel calmer and more focused. This leads to better sleep quality and better mental health overall. The habit of reviewing notes at night links learning with relaxation. It helps you close the day with a sense of accomplishment. It is normal to feel tired at night and think that reviewing notes is too much effort. The key is to keep the session short and focused. Even 10 minutes can make a difference if you are consistent. The goal is not to cram, but to gently reinforce what you learned. You can choose to review summaries, key points, or questions you wrote down earlier. Doing this regularly builds a routine that trains your mind to expect learning before rest. The brain responds well to routines because they create stability. This stability makes it easier to build new habits, like daily education. Many learners find that reviewing notes before sleep sharpens their critical thinking skills. When you go over what you learned, you begin to ask better questions. You notice gaps in your understanding and find ways to fill them. This active engagement with your material is what separates passive reading from real learning. The night review becomes a time to challenge your mind and prepare for deeper understanding. It builds a habit of curiosity and reflection. These qualities push your education forward faster than just consuming information. In addition to improving memory, reviewing notes before sleep enhances creativity. While the brain processes information in the background, it also makes new connections. Sometimes ideas or solutions appear to you during the night or early morning. Many inventors and thinkers credited their breakthroughs to thoughts that came after sleep. By feeding your mind with focused material before bed, you set the stage for creative problem-solving. This means that your learning continues even when you are not actively studying. The night review habit taps into the natural rhythm of your mind's power. It is important to have organized and clear notes to review effectively. If your notes are scattered or confusing, reviewing will not have the same benefit. Keeping your notes simple and focused helps your brain easily process them. Use bullet points, headings, or keywords to highlight main ideas. This format allows quick scanning and reinforces the key lessons. When you improve your note-taking, your review sessions become more productive. This combined skill set strengthens your daily learning experience. It creates a cycle of clarity and growth. Reviewing your notes before sleep can also improve your emotional connection to learning. Ending the day with a calm and productive activity builds positive feelings around education. It reduces anxiety about forgetting and increases your sense of control. When you take ownership of your learning in this way, you feel more proud and motivated. This emotional boost fuels your desire to keep moving forward. You develop a healthy relationship with knowledge as a source of confidence and power. Many successful people use this simple strategy as part of their daily routine. They recognize that education is not just about what you do during the day, but how you close it. This habit creates momentum that carries into the next day. When you wake up, your mind is clearer and more prepared to absorb new information. This smooth transition from day-to-night learning forms the foundation of lifelong education. It shows respect for your mind's natural process and uses it to your advantage. To build this habit, start by selecting the best time before bed that fits your schedule. Choose a quiet spot where you can focus without interruptions. Keep your notes ready and organized so you can jump right into review. Set a timer if needed to keep the session short and manageable. After a few weeks, this routine will feel natural and rewarding. You will notice better memory, sharper thinking, and greater motivation. This simple step can transform your daily education into a continuous cycle of growth and improvement. The practice of reviewing notes before sleep is not difficult, but it requires commitment. It asks for a small investment of time and energy at the end of a busy day. The payoff is large in terms of knowledge retention and mental clarity. It turns learning into a lifestyle that fits with your natural rhythms. By making this a daily habit, you build a strong foundation for all other educational efforts. It is a practical, effective, and empowering way to educate yourself every day. Number 17. Subscribe to educational newsletters or blogs. Every day, people are bombarded with distractions that steal their focus. The truth is, most of us struggle to find reliable and meaningful information that fits our learning goals. This makes daily education seem overwhelming or confusing. It feels like there is too much noise and not enough clear guidance. One simple way to solve this problem is to subscribe to educational newsletters or blogs that speak directly to your interests and needs. This action turns scattered information into a steady, manageable flow of knowledge delivered straight to you. It is a way to bring learning into your daily life without adding stress or confusion. When you subscribe to a newsletter or blog that fits your goals, you build a personal learning source. This source brings valuable insights, tips, and new ideas to your inbox regularly. Instead of searching endlessly for good content, the best content comes to you. This saves time and prevents decision fatigue. Over time, these small doses of learning add up. You begin to see clear progress because the information is relevant and carefully curated by experts or passionate people in the field. This targeted learning feels purposeful, and that feeling drives you to keep going. Most newsletters and blogs use language that is easy to understand. They break down complex ideas into simple, actionable steps. This makes learning approachable no matter where you start. These platforms also often provide examples from real life. They share stories about success and failure that help you connect emotionally with the material. Emotional connection is important because it makes learning stick. When you feel inspired or moved by what you read, you remember it longer and apply it more effectively. Subscribing to these sources gives you a chance to experience learning in a personal and engaging way. Another benefit of subscribing to educational newsletters or blogs is the variety of perspectives they offer. Learning from different authors broadens your understanding. You start to see how one topic can be viewed from multiple angles. This helps you avoid narrow thinking and develops your critical skills. It challenges you to question your assumptions and grow. When you expose yourself to diverse viewpoints regularly, your thinking becomes sharper and more flexible. This is a key skill in any form of education or personal growth. The more diverse your sources, the richer your learning experience. These newsletters and blogs often encourage interaction as well. They may invite readers to comment or ask questions. This interaction builds a sense of community and accountability. Being part of a community of learners motivates you to stay consistent. It also provides support when you face challenges or feel stuck. The knowledge shared in these communities often goes beyond the articles. You gain access to additional resources and expert advice. This network effect makes your educational journey less lonely and more enjoyable. When subscribing, it is important to choose sources carefully. Not every newsletter or blog is created equal. Look for those that have a proven track record of quality content. Read reviews or sample several before deciding. Choose ones that match your learning style and pace. Some people prefer daily short tips. Others like weekly deep dives. Find what works for you and stick with it. Consistency matters more than quantity. Receiving one well-written newsletter a week is better than getting overwhelmed by many daily emails you do not read. The habit of reading newsletters or blogs can become a powerful daily routine. Setting aside even 15 minutes each day to engage with this content grows your knowledge steadily. This routine creates a natural learning rhythm that fits into busy schedules. Over time, it builds confidence. You start to feel more informed and prepared. This confidence spills over into other areas of life. It encourages you to take on new challenges and apply what you learn. This small daily investment produces a big return in personal and professional growth. One key advantage is that newsletters and blogs often highlight current trends and updates in your field of interest. Learning what is happening now keeps you relevant. It prevents your knowledge from becoming outdated. This is especially important in fast-changing areas like technology or business. When you stay informed, you can adapt faster and make better decisions. This ability to stay ahead is a powerful edge in life and career. Subscribing to reliable sources helps you keep pace with the world around you. The process of reading educational content regularly also improves your reading and comprehension skills. As you encounter new vocabulary and ideas, your brain gets stronger at processing information. This makes future learning easier and faster. You also become better at distinguishing useful content from noise. This skill is valuable in today's information overload environment. It trains your mind to be selective and focused. This selectivity makes your daily education time more productive and satisfying. Some newsletters and blogs go beyond just providing information. They offer exercises, challenges, or reflections to deepen your learning. Engaging actively with this material transforms passive reading into active education. This involvement increases retention and makes your learning meaningful. It also keeps you motivated because you see results from your effort. These interactive elements create a feedback loop that boosts growth. You do not just consume knowledge, you practice and apply it. In addition, many educational newsletters or blogs come with free or paid extra resources. These may include videos, podcasts, downloadable guides, or community forums. Taking advantage of these extras enhances your learning experience. They provide different formats to suit your preferences and reinforce concepts. Using multiple formats helps your brain absorb information more effectively. This multimodal learning is a powerful tool for deep understanding. It enriches the simple act of subscribing and reading. Finally, subscribing to educational newsletters or blogs is an investment in yourself. It is a commitment to lifelong learning. This commitment sends a strong message to your mind and heart. It shows that you value your growth and want to improve continuously. This mindset shift opens the door to new opportunities. It attracts positive energy and people who support your journey. The habit of receiving and engaging with educational content becomes a foundation for success. It turns education from a task into a daily source of inspiration and power. Number 18. Set a timer for focused daily learning time. Most people face the same struggle every day. There is so much to learn, yet the hours in the day seem to slip away unnoticed. Distractions pull attention in many directions, and before long, the opportunity to learn something new vanishes. This is a reality many live with and accept as normal. Yet the truth is, daily learning does not require hours of free time or endless effort. It simply needs clear boundaries and a commitment to focus. Setting a timer for focused daily learning is a practical way to take control of your time and grow consistently. When the timer starts, it creates a clear signal that the next block of time is for learning only. This simple act separates learning from everything else. It allows the brain to prepare for deep focus. Having a set period removes the question of how long should I study or when do I stop. Instead, the timer defines the learning session. This clarity frees the mind from distractions and wandering thoughts. It creates a container where learning can happen without interruptions or hesitation. This is powerful because distraction is the biggest enemy of progress. Starting with even a small amount of focused time can lead to surprising results. 10 or 15 minutes a day may feel short, but adds up to hours and days of knowledge over weeks and months. This focus time encourages quality over quantity. It forces you to be intentional about what you want to learn and how you spend that time. The discipline to honor the timer builds mental strength. It trains your mind to concentrate and resist the pull of distractions. Over time, this skill spreads beyond the timer and improves productivity in other areas of life. A timer also reduces the feeling of overwhelm. Sometimes people avoid learning because it feels like an endless task. When you know you only need to give a fixed amount of time, it becomes manageable. The mind welcomes this structure because it reduces stress and decision fatigue. Knowing there is an endpoint encourages you to start rather than procrastinate. This shift in mindset makes learning a natural habit rather than a chore. Consistency becomes easier because the time commitment is clear and realistic. The environment you choose during your time sessions also plays a big role. Find a quiet place where interruptions are minimal. Turn off notifications on your devices. Close unrelated tabs or apps. When the timer runs, the only focus is learning. This creates a sense of respect for the time you set aside. The brain adapts to this ritual and begins to associate the timer with productive, meaningful work. This creates momentum. You begin to look forward to the learning period as a time of growth and progress. It is important to plan what to learn before starting the timer. Having a clear goal for each session maximizes the impact of your focused time. Decide if you will read an article, watch a video, practice a skill, or review notes. This preparation prevents wasted moments wondering what to do. It sharpens your attention and keeps the session on track. When the timer stops, you can reflect briefly on what you achieved. This reinforces the learning and provides motivation to keep going the next day. There will be days when distractions come knocking harder. People may interrupt, or urgent tasks may demand your attention. Setting a timer does not mean you are perfect or immune to interruptions. It means you commit to defending this time as much as possible. Even if the session is shorter than planned, the effort counts. Over time, the habit of setting a timer builds a protective barrier around your learning. You begin to value this time as non-negotiable, like eating or sleeping. This respect for your education grows into respect for yourself. Technology can be a helpful ally in this process. Many apps and devices have timer functions designed to boost focus. Using tools like Pomodoro timers, focus apps, or simple phone timers helps enforce the learning window. These tools also remind you when it is time to start and stop. This external reminder strengthens your internal commitment. Using technology this way turns a distraction source into a support system. It makes learning easier and more consistent by providing structure and accountability. When the timer signals the end of your session, it is crucial to stop immediately. Avoid the temptation to extend the time. This discipline is part of training your brain to respect boundaries. Stopping on time creates anticipation for the next session. It also prevents burnout or fatigue. Consistent short bursts of focused learning produce better results than long, unfocused stretches. This approach keeps your mind fresh and eager to absorb more information over time. As this habit develops, you may find yourself naturally extending the focused time. Once concentration becomes easier, you might increase the timer from 10 to 20 or 30 minutes. This growth is organic and sustainable. It comes from a place of enjoyment and achievement, not pressure. The timer is your tool, not your taskmaster. It helps you learn steadily and joyfully without feeling overwhelmed. This balance is essential for lifelong education. Focused, daily learning time with a timer becomes more than a habit. It turns into a mindset. It teaches you to value your growth and protect your time fiercely. This mindset influences other areas of your life. You become more organized, disciplined, and intentional in all activities. The confidence gained from mastering your learning time spills over into work, relationships, and personal goals. This ripple effect creates momentum that propels you forward on your path. Ultimately, setting a timer is a simple but powerful way to create space for learning in a busy life. It turns education from an abstract idea into a concrete daily practice. It makes the process manageable and rewarding. It gives you control over your growth and builds a foundation for success. This small step leads to big changes because it cultivates focus, discipline, and consistency. The timer is a tool to transform potential into achievement. Number 19. Use spaced repetition to improve retention and memory. Everyone knows the frustration of forgetting important information soon after learning it. This experience is common and affects many people trying to grow their knowledge. Learning something new often feels wasted when it disappears from memory quickly. The reality is, the brain is designed to forget details unless they are reviewed regularly. Without repeated exposure, information fades like a fading photograph. This is why using spaced repetition is one of the most effective ways to improve retention and build lasting memory. It turns learning from a one-time event into a continuous process of reinforcement. Spaced repetition works by increasing the intervals between reviewing learned material. When you first study something, it is reviewed quickly. Then, over time, the gap between review sessions grows longer. This technique matches how the brain naturally stores and strengthens memories. Reviewing information just as it begins to fade refreshes the memory and makes it stronger. Each review adds new layers to the memory, making it easier to recall later. This pattern builds a durable foundation of knowledge without overwhelming the learner with constant repetition. Many people fail to use spaced repetition because they rely on massed practice or cramming. Cramming might work for a short time but results in rapid forgetting. It is like pouring water into a leaky bucket. The information does not settle deeply and is lost quickly. Spaced repetition fills the bucket gradually, allowing the brain to absorb knowledge over time. This approach reduces stress and increases confidence. Knowing that you will review material again gives the mind a chance to rest. The pressure to memorize everything at once disappears, making learning more enjoyable. To implement spaced repetition, it is important to organize the material into small, manageable chunks. Breaking down complex topics into bite-sized pieces makes review easier and more effective. Each piece can be revisited separately according to its review schedule. Many digital tools and apps use spaced repetition algorithms to schedule reviews automatically. These apps track what you remember well and what needs more attention. This personalized approach maximizes efficiency and ensures you focus on weak areas. Technology makes spaced repetition accessible and convenient for daily learning. The timing of reviews is critical. Reviewing too soon after learning may feel repetitive and boring. Waiting too long risks forgetting too much, making the review inefficient. Spaced repetition balances this timing to keep the mind engaged without fatigue. As intervals increase, reviews become shorter and less frequent. This rhythm fits well into busy schedules, allowing steady progress without feeling overwhelming. The brain becomes trained to expect reviews at the right moments, strengthening memory with minimal effort. Using spaced repetition also builds confidence. As you recall information more easily during reviews, it creates positive feedback. This encourages you to continue learning and reviewing. The fear of forgetting diminishes because you know the process supports memory retention. This mental reassurance helps sustain motivation. Learning becomes less about memorizing facts and more about building a reliable knowledge base. Over time, this foundation supports more complex understanding and skill development. Applying spaced repetition can transform many types of learning. Language learners use it to memorize vocabulary and grammar rules. Students apply it to retain facts, formulas, and concepts. Professionals use it to keep up with industry knowledge and skills. Anyone who wants to master a subject benefits from reviewing information regularly. This method suits long-term goals because it reinforces learning consistently. It turns the daunting task of memorization into a manageable routine. Besides digital tools, simple methods like flashcards work well with spaced repetition. Writing questions on one side and answers on the other allows quick and focused reviews. Flashcards can be shuffled and sorted according to how well you know the content. This hands-on technique helps engage multiple senses, aiding memory. Using flashcards daily with spaced repetition increases retention dramatically. This low-tech option is powerful and requires minimal resources. It is essential to maintain discipline when practicing spaced repetition. Skipping reviews or delaying them defeats the purpose. Consistency is key to keeping memories fresh and strong. Developing a daily habit around review sessions creates momentum. Scheduling short, regular times to revisit material fits well with busy lifestyles. Over time, these small efforts add up to significant learning gains. The results of spaced repetition are cumulative and rewarding. Incorporating spaced repetition encourages a deeper connection with the material. Repeated exposure allows the brain to form new neural pathways. These connections enhance understanding beyond simple memorization. The material becomes familiar and easier to apply in different contexts. This deeper learning leads to improved problem-solving and creativity. It moves knowledge from short-term to long-term storage, making it truly useful. Finally, spaced repetition is a tool for lifelong learning. It supports continuous growth and adaptation. The method evolves with your learning needs and goals. It prepares the mind for new challenges and information. Using spaced repetition helps overcome the natural tendency to forget. It creates a system where learning is sustainable and effective. This system makes it possible to build expertise steadily and confidently. The effort invested in spaced repetition pays off with lasting knowledge and skill. This encourages you to continue learning and reviewing. The fear of forgetting diminishes because you know the process supports memory retention. This mental reassurance helps sustain motivation. Learning becomes less about memorizing facts and more about building a reliable knowledge base. Over time, this foundation supports more complex understanding and skill development. Applying spaced repetition can transform many types of learning. Language learners use it to memorize vocabulary and grammar rules. Students apply it to retain facts, formulas, and concepts. Professionals use it to keep up with industry knowledge and skills. Anyone who wants to master a subject benefits from reviewing information regularly. This method suits long-term goals because it reinforces learning consistently. It turns the daunting task of memorization into a manageable routine. Besides digital tools, simple methods like flashcards work well with spaced repetition. Writing questions on one side and answers on the other allows quick and focused reviews. Flashcards can be shuffled and sorted according to how well you know the content. This hands-on technique helps engage multiple senses, aiding memory. Using flashcards daily with spaced repetition increases retention dramatically. This low-tech option is powerful and requires minimal resources. It is essential to maintain discipline when practicing spaced repetition. Skipping reviews or delaying them defeats the purpose. Consistency is key to keeping memories fresh and strong. Developing a daily habit around review sessions creates momentum. Scheduling short, regular times to revisit material fits well with busy lifestyles. Over time, these small efforts add up to significant learning gains. The results of spaced repetition are cumulative and rewarding. Incorporating spaced repetition encourages a deeper connection with the material. Repeated exposure allows the brain to form new neural pathways. These connections enhance understanding beyond simple memorization. The material becomes familiar and easier to apply in different contexts. This deeper learning leads to improved problem-solving and creativity. It moves knowledge from short-term to long-term storage, making it truly useful. Finally, spaced repetition is a tool for lifelong learning. It supports continuous growth and adaptation. The method evolves with your learning needs and goals. It prepares the mind for new challenges and information. Using spaced repetition helps overcome the natural tendency to forget. It creates a system where learning is sustainable and effective. This system makes it possible to build expertise steadily and confidently. The effort invested in spaced repetition pays off with lasting knowledge and skill.